In addition to seeing Hulk Hogan for the first time in years, Undertaker, he wasn't going that long, but nonetheless, he made a return to Raw as well. Brock Lesnar was accompanied to the ring by Paul Heyman, who in no uncertain terms said Brock was intent on conquering history in the WWE. When you're talking about history and WrestleMania, of course, the Streak comes to mind. So, enter the dead man. Undertaker chokeslammed Brock through a table and made it official. We will see Brock Lesnar versus The Undertaker with the Streak on the line at WrestleMania 30. One of the fun things to do around WrestleMania time is to speculate on who will challenge the Streak. Now that the guessing game is over, let's discuss.
One of the other fun things to do is to question whether or not the streak will end, and I think we can just put that to bed with no. Not even close. And that's the thing that pisses me off about this match. It'll be a really good match, really physical. I should enjoy it. I will enjoy it. It just doesn't bring what I want on Undertaker's WrestleMania matches. Like, I feel like you could stick this in any other event. It would be the same match, which is kind of lame. I know for a fact he's kicking out of everything. There's no way, just as me watching wrestling enough and just kind of having an idea of what's going on, there's no way that you can plant a seed of doubt in my head the Undertaker's going to lose that match, which will affect the quality for me. You know, that is really what makes the Undertaker's matches great. You know, that idea of him losing the streak and that whole deal. So I'm excited to see the match. It's going to be a good match, but overall, I just don't think the match is what I would want from a WrestleMania Undertaker match. The return was really good. I would have rather just seen the stare down. I didn't think they really had to do the whole chokeslam thing, but the crowd loved it and it was cool to see. So Paul Heyman's promo was good, return good, whole deal good, except for, you know, the whole match part of it beyond just the match quality.
As a member of the Brock Lesnar PR department, we have to reassure the fans that Brock Lesnar was not crying when he was stabbed with the pen. He wasn't really in pain. It was just a spur of the moment. He was just surprised and shocked. I just have to make that clear. If you're wondering when I decided to become such a Brock Lesnar fan, you haven't been paying attention to the shows. I've mentioned he's probably my favorite part-timer, excluding The Undertaker. And I'm honestly, man, I think I am a bigger Brock Lesnar fan than I was of John Morrison. I'm putting that out.
Holy hell. That is that's a grand statement to make. I need a minute to process this.
Brock Lesnar is the freaking man. He is, at least you see, the thing with Morrison, you watch a match, it's like, yeah, he's probably not going to win. With Lesnar, he's like, holy crap, he actually has a shot. I won't be depressed after the show. So I think that it's more rewarding to be a Lesnar fan. Anyway, let's get that out of the way. This is going to be a high-profile match. I think this is one of the as far as after the Elimination Chamber, that was basically the point of no return. And since then, you can't really change anything. So this was pretty much the biggest match you could have done. The whole I did want Sting, I will admit that, but I don't think he's in shape for a match. And to be quite honest, if it's not going to be done this year, which it won't, it probably should never happen because these guys are not spring chickens. They're not getting any younger. Yeah, this is probably the best match they could have done. I do think, though, that I'm going to have to I'm not going to 100% agree. I think there's a slight chance Brock could maybe convince me that there's doubt.
Not even close.
But 95%, man, Taker is going to win this. I am 95% sure. I mean, Brock Lesnar is a part-timer.
That's really generous. That is really fucking generous.
I know. I mean, I try to suspend my disbelief with wrestling, but it's just too much, dude. He is a part-timer. For all we know, this guy could be on his way to the UFC within the next year or two. There is honestly no chance in hell. It will be a cold day in hell before Brock Lesnar defeats The Undertaker. But we have plenty of time before WrestleMania. We have 5 weeks, even though I'm pretty sure I still won't believe he'll win. But, hey, 5 more weeks. Let's see how the build-up is. As far as going 22-0, I don't see this guy making it to 25-0. 22-0, it just sounds like a weird number. I mean, meh. You know, I to be quite honest, I think this is probably Brock Lesnar is the most physical guy they have on the roster, part-timer or not. This could really be the last hurrah. This guy is going to hurt him seriously.
Don't you be saying that. Don't you be saying that when we have the Taker Cena match still to come.
This should have been the year of Taker and Cena. I don't see this guy making it to 20 unless Brock pulls his punches. He's
making it next year. Don't even go there. But
see, David loves to go there. He's already got Roman Reigns blowing his knees out within the next 6 months.
But I like Taker's return. It was weird seeing Taker come back and actually challenge someone. Like, normally someone challenges him, but that was kind of a different feel. And him chokeslamming to the table, it was good stuff. They could have just had a stare down, but yeah, gave the fans something to cheer about extra, as well as just Taker coming back. But overall, I'm not really excited for this match. Obviously, Taker's going to win. I can't see Lesnar winning. But overall, the match should be good. I don't really question any of their abilities. It should be a good brawl, a good wrestling match as well. We definitely don't need any sort of badass character in this sort of match. I feel like that's just not necessary. We have a good match. These two will go at it, and it's definitely believable. So I'm looking forward to this match, and hopefully Taker comes back next year, because I'm still keen on that Taker Cena match. But that's the future, and this match should be good.
Every WrestleMania that goes by that Cena versus The Undertaker isn't booked, a little part of me dies inside, because I know that every year it doesn't happen, the higher the chance that it never will. So it goes without saying that that match would have been my #1 choice, but Lesnar challenging the Streak isn't too bad of an alternative. He's a big name and without question poses a believable threat to Taker. You take into account his size, his strength, his style, everything that he's accomplished in WWE and UFC. He's one of the biggest threats Taker has ever faced, especially within the last few years, because as great as Triple H and Shawn Michaels are, the narrative surrounding Brock is that he's a monster bent on pure destruction. HBK and Triple H had other things working in their favor to make them credible threats to the Streak, but at the end of the day, they always approach the situation from a respectful stance. That's not a factor this time around. So I'd imagine that Brock doesn't want to just break the Streak. He wants to break the fucking Undertaker in half. Now, bringing all of that together, they have the ability to right some of the wrongs that were made with the way that they approached the Streak last year and suspend disbelief to the point that we may actually believe it is possible for Brock Lesnar to end the Streak. But apparently, Charlie, there's no way in hell that they could possibly convince you that Brock Lesnar is ending the Streak this year.
I've just watched wrestling too long. Like, that's the thing, is that it's totally being an asshole Mark that knows what's going on and just refuses to pretend like he can be tricked into doing it. I just watched too long. I do know what's going on. I can't hide the fact. So it's nothing that they can do. Like, it's not their fault. It's just a matter of me just knowing what's going on that I just don't.
I love the fact that your stance on the situation is I'm an asshole, Mark, and I'm not going to believe it. But I think basically the point that you're trying to get at, we got a tweet here from Starry Nova. She says, let me put it this way. I don't like the idea of this match. Brock winning would make me not look at WWE ever again. It seems as if people are caught up with the fact that Brock Lesnar isn't exactly a full-timer. He's not 100% dedicated to the WWE, so the non-kayfabe aspect of Brock Lesnar could affect how we view the storyline. Does anybody else sense that?
Yeah, man. It's like Charlie said, man. A lot of us have been watching the WWE for like 5+ years. No matter what way you put it, even if you don't look at the internet or stuff like that, people are. The secret is out, man. There's no such thing as kayfabe anymore. We all know the deal. We know what's up. This guy is only going to appear for like 2 or 3 times a year, and he's not exactly. He's not like he's the 21-year-old hotshot just coming up. This guy has already had his chance of being a big-time star. He's still a big-time star, but it's not like there's a chance of him being put over so he can have something for the future.
I was just going to say, there's no way Lesnar is going to win this, like no way in the world. If they did it, again, I'll agree with, can't remember who tweeted the name, sorry, but I'll probably stop watching wrestling if Lesnar won. So
wow.
It's stupid to have Lesnar go over. I don't know why. Yeah, either way.
And there was a confrontation that The Undertaker and Brock Lesnar had at a UFC event a few years ago. It would have been interesting if the match had happened back then, but there was this very interesting article that I read about Brock Lesnar where it basically said that some of the shine has worn off of him, and that was evident in him being booked in a match with The Big Show at the Royal Rumble. Because if this guy is such a hot topic, like he's prime real estate here, like this guy is a fucking beast. He's so amazing. This is a former UFC champion, all that great stuff that Brock Lesnar has working in his favor. You'd think that WWE would kind of find something more important for him to do, but this article basically said that Brock Lesnar is no longer the former UFC champion. Now he's just back to being a WWE superstar, because he's been in WWE for so long now and been away from UFC for so long that shine, that importance, that kind of clout that he carried when he came back initially, it's kind of gone now. And I think that this match
help also that he's like 1-7 in his matches.
Exactly, that plays into it also. So I think that if this match had been done previously, maybe we would buy into it a little bit more, because Brock Lesnar, he isn't at the same level that he once was.
And that's kind of my problem with this match, is I want the Undertaker matches. Like, we've gotten so many in the past couple years that just haven't had a greater good. They've been great matches. You know, the match Triple H at 28, I love the match, but they don't have any sort of purpose beyond that event. And to me, that's kind of a problem, I think, as the Undertaker winds down. You could have done something with a young guy. You know, I originally kind of laughed at the idea of doing Bray Wyatt, but he almost got to that point where I think he could have. You know, I say Reigns. There's a good list of guys that you could have had that could have had a future purpose and greater good type deal that you honestly would have believed could have ended the streak more so than Lesnar, because they're at least here every day and they seem to have the backing of the company. So it's not as if they didn't have other options. They're going with the big fight feel, which I think they have here, but it's just, again, my asshole markiness that I actually have. Like, the jig is up, and I can't pretend like I don't know the jig is up.
Well, there is one option out there. Like, David, I think you said this was the best match that they could have gone for. It wasn't. There's still one out there that will make me completely mark the fuck out.
And it's not fucking Sting.
Yeah, it's not Sting. Not at all. Not in the least. You're fired. Leave. Bye. Goodbye.